Well, good evening, folks. Ken Hovind here and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama, December the 15th. My wife and I's anniversary. Again, every day we have an anniversary. Okay. December 15th. Tonight, making babies, the ducks. I would like you evolutionists to finally step up to the plate and give a scientific answer for how this evolved. You claim everything just happened by chance from mutations. How did this method of reproduction evolve in the duck? I'll bet $5 you can't do it because you haven't done any of the rest of them. It's number 143. They haven't done any, have they? No. Come on. You folks who believe you came from a rock, tell us how this happened. Okay. You can follow us on Rumble. Let's see here. Right there. Okay. Right there. On Rumble channel and on YouTube on Genesis Baptist Church and Kent Hovind Official on Odyssey and a bunch more listed on drdino.com. Now, parental advisory tonight. We're going to tell how ducks make babies. So if your kids don't know how babies are made, you don't want them to learn yet, well, get them out of the room. Okay. There's baby bunnies, Dinosaur Adventureland. We got all kinds of babies, baby goats. How's those triplet goats doing? Oh, did you guys get to see the triplet goats we had, 5 days ago? Yeah, they're friendly. Pick them up. Okay, today we did the velvet worm, the octopus. Let's see, no, it's not tonight, walking stick. Tonight is the ducks. Coming to you live from Genesis Baptist Church at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama. Solomon said, go to the ant. There's things you can learn from an ant. We'll talk about that when you guys take the tour tomorrow, okay? Plenty to learn from an ant. Consider the lilies. There's lots to learn from a lily, okay? They're beautiful and they don't worry about their clothes. God said, better consider those things. Consider the ravens. We talked about this in the other previous ones, because how many different types of ducks are there? Oh, there's not a duck. Join our 777 Club. Help us to open for free, drdino.com. We never charge anything. People can come for free. Any donations, make them to CSE. That's Creation Science Evangelism, our ministry headquarters, our name. Let's see. Get our video series. Is it still, they can still get a Christmas in time for Christmas? I think so. Can they, Bobby? If they order, can they get in time for Christmas? I have to hurry. They better do it tonight. Yeah, go to drdino.com and click you want to order the Christmas special. Get some videotapes, some books. Give out something that'll change lives. Get some kids' books for your kids about dinosaurs and the Bible. Get my book, What on Earth is About to Happen, or the video series. You're interested in the future. Anyway, God said He's blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply. He blessed them. Said, be fruitful and multiply. It's a great blessing to have a bunch of kids, okay? He blessed Noah. Said, have a bunch of kids, boy. He made them male and female. And that's the only two, by the way. If you can't figure out which one, ask your mama. She can explain it to you, okay? Male and female. That's the only two there are. So let's see. He blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply. He gave the command for all life forms to make babies, and he gave the needed equipment and the great drive to do that. Why would any animal want to make more babies? It just adds to the cost of living. How many of you parents have kids and it raised the cost of your household around there? Cost of food, cost of utilities, cost of clothing. Yeah, okay. God made an amazing variety of ways that animals make babies, and we've been trying to get you evolutionists to answer some of these. I've got a theory. God made these wide variety of ways just so your evolution religion would look stupid. It looks stupid without it, but it looks worse with that. David said, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Okay, we talked about the anglerfish. Nobody answered that one. Nobody answered the tardigrade, how they make babies. The honeybee. Let me skip up to slide number, I think it's 147. The velvet worm we did last week. And now the duck. I predict none of you will answer this one either. Is it okay to have a thermal undershirt under Hawaiian shirt? Is there a rule against that? There is? No dress code? Good. It's a little chilly out here. Okay. I'm a duck. My creator made me. If you think I evolved from nothing for no reason, you're an idiot. God said, let the earth bring forth. He made all the creeping things he just made by speaking. But man, he created him by his hands, okay? Tonight, we're going to learn about an extremely common animal, the duck. 167 varieties of duck, and they probably had a common ancestor called a duck. Doesn't prove they're related to bananas and whales, okay? Lots of different kinds of ducks. They put them in two different categories, those that dive under the water. We'll talk about that in just a minute here. Duck breeds, maple leaf farms. Most common breed to make to the plate, in other words, that people eat, is the white Pekin duck. I grew up right next to Pekin, Illinois, named after the city in China, Pekin, China. The Pekin duck, how many do we have at our place down here? We got 4? Billy, you feed them every day. 4 white ducks? Or?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, okay. We'll give you guys the tour tomorrow and you can feed our ducks, okay? They love to eat. How old's your son there? 8. That's their favorite food. They love to eat, 8-year-olds. Yeah, this is going to be great, okay? See, the Pekin duck, they can make it to the plate. Ducks' average lifespan is 5 to 10 years, depending on the breed, but they can live up to 20 years if you care for them. Muscovy ducks have an average life of 8 to 12, and in captivity, they usually live 18 to 20 years. Large breeds of ducks have the shortest lifespans. Domestic ducks can live anywhere from 10 to 15 years. Okay. The duck DNA is incredible. We studied that a couple times on this program. Just the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, the code to make the duck. That chromosome is so complex. Each cell in your body, in the human body, you have 46 of these chromosomes. If you took, except for the gametes, if you took a chromosome out and unwound it and untwisted it all the way out, it'd be 6 feet long. If you tied one person's chromosomes together, it would go across the solar system twice. And you think that happened by chance and nobody made it. That's the code to make a baby. The duck has that amazing code in its chromosomes that tells it how to make the feathers, the beak, the heart, the muscles, everything in that code. And you really think it happened by chance. Some of you guys, you need help. Okay, usually the female is more drab and the male's more glamorous, maybe to attract attention away from the female and the babies. This guy said, last year, I was surprised to find my female mandarin duck was turning into a male. This is quite an article. BBC News, you ought to read this. The ducks, if they need to, can change sexes. And they don't change their pronouns, though, okay? Even as a zoology graduate and someone who kept birds in an aviary since I was 10, I had absolutely no idea this could happen. So I started investigating. It turns out the way birds express their sex is a fiendishly complex matter. You can read all about that. Have you ever considered what ducks do have under there? The answer may surprise you. We don't usually think of birds as having a penis, but male ducks do. Most birds don't, okay? Ducks can become very aggressive during mating, and if they try to force a female duck to mate, the rate of successful sperm transfer is very low. How do ducks mate is through external fertilization. Unlike birds with external fertilization, ducks breed through internal fertilization. In other words, the sperm meets the egg inside the female. Sometimes they just spread it on the water, let her pick it up if she wants. Some animals are fertilized through external fertilization. Okay. Let's see. Strange part is that males have a corkscrew-shaped penis. The female's vagina canal is even more intricate. A complexity of organs ensures that the female chooses who fertilizes her eggs. She can't stop him from mating with her, but she can decide, I don't want him to be the dad. Let's see. The act of duck reproduction is interesting. Many people are surprised to discover duck sex is more closely related to human than other birds. There's the male duck's penis hanging down there. Male ducks have a corkscrew-shaped penis. Does a duck have a penis up like a corkscrew? Interesting. Researchers believe when the penis becomes erect, it does so with lymph. Erection by blood or muscle. Let's see. It all happens quickly because there's nothing to support the duck's erection, so reproduction can occur in a fraction of a second. I'm on top, slam bam, thank you ma'am, they're done. Okay, that's it. Male duck's penis is longer than its body. Let's see, 15 to 40 centimeters. Maybe longer than the duck's body. Let's see, it can brush away sperm from competitors. And it can also lasso the female with his penis. How long did that take to evolve? Okay. Birds reproduce sexually and have separate sexes, and so males and females must mate for fertilization to occur. Most avian species do not have a penis, but larger birds, such as the duck, ostrich, and emu, have a conical-shaped penis wider at the base. Sperm transfer from the male to female during reproduction ranges from releasing the sperm into the water environment to external fertilization, to the joining of cloaca in birds, to the development of the penis for a direct delivery into the female's vagina. All birds reproduce by laying eggs, which are produced inside the female and then deposited in the nest. So, how do ducks mate? Internal fertilization. This means the sperm is transferred from male to female to fertilize the egg, just like humans. Duck reproduction facts. Male duck's reproductive organ is shaped like a corkscrew. In female ducks, the vagina is simply not simply a tube, but it twists and winds inside. And believe it or not, it corkscrews the wrong way. And they can still make babies. Now, how did that evolve? When a male duck is ready to win over a female, you may notice performances like head bobbing, tip, tip, till up, wing flapping, grunt, whistle, swimming low, flat backing. All this from trying to get attention, okay? Okay, this is an awesome video here we're going to read about or watch about duck making babies. Let me get over here. We'll interrupt this a few times. Let's see, right here.
Moves along the surface, feeding by putting their heads in the water, in a practice that I imagine to other ducks is rather seductive. Different dabbling species have evolved many different types of special bills that act like our fingertips when looking for food.
Did you hear that? They have evolved many special types of bills. You got to give evolution the glory. You can't give God the glory. They won't publish it on BBC or anything, the Communist News Network. It's got to give evolution the glory. So ignore that part, okay? They're wrong. Tell them I said so.
Many dabbling ducks' bills have teeth-looking, comb-like structures called lamellae, which filter out mud and water when picking up seeds or bugs.
So they do have little tiny teeth to filter out the mud and stuff. You'll see that tomorrow when you feed the ducks. They'll eat right out of your hand. But it's just a little pinch. They're real tiny teeth, okay? In there. That's right here.
Diving ducks, on the other hand, like their name suggests, head down below to find their food. This can sometimes be a pretty impressive feat. Long-tailed ducks have been netted at 240 feet down in an Ontario.
Imagine swimming down 240 feet.
Wow.
Humans can go. I should have looked up the record. Look it up. Record for free diving without a scuba tank. Just one breath of air. How far down was the human record? I would guess it's less than 100. Okay, but anyway, ducks.
Lake. All ducks, dabbling or diving, spend their lives around water. Thus, those webbed feet. Webbed feet act like swim fins, allowing them to push through the water with ease.
6 meters.
What is it?
136 meters.
136 meters?
Yeah.
Free okay. What?
I got 213.9 meters.
213 meters? World record. Is that with scuba gear? Without scuba gear. Okay. Anyway, ducks do it. Then go way down there. All right. Now look at the feet of the duck. The way they keep their feet from freezing took millions of years to evolve. See, for a long time, they all died because their feet froze off standing on the ice. They finally learned a way to do it. I'll show you. It's pretty amazing.
So how do ducks swim in such cold water or stand on the ice in the winter without freezing their feet or sticking to the ice? Well, they have a special countercurrent heat exchange system and thus lose very little heat through their feet and legs. Basically, the warm blood flowing to the feet passes by the cold blood returning from the feet. This cools the warm blood to a temperature warm enough to supply nutrients and oxygen to the foot and ward off frostbite. Penises! Ducks have them. Most other birds don't. In fact, only 3% of birds have penises. It turns out that during development, a special protein, BMP4, kills off the cells that would turn into a perfectly acceptable penis. In ducks, this doesn't happen. So, penis they have, and what a penis. Muscovy ducks don't just have a run-of-the-mill member. Theirs is corkscrew-shaped. They eject this rather tortured-looking instrument from where it usually hides, in their cloacal sac, directly into the female Muscovy vagina. The male corkscrew penis falls off after each mating season and grows.
Did you hear that? It falls off after the season and he grows a new one. I would like to know, A, how that evolved, and B, what he thought about the first time it happened. and see how he explained it to his son going off on his honeymoon. Well, boy, here's what's going to happen. No, Dad, you kidding? No, son, I'm serious. How did this evolve? See, for millions of years, they all died because they didn't grow back. They just all died for millions of years. Okay.
Goes back in proportion to the other male competition. So more ducks means bigger penises. Now, I love a good penis story as much as the next scientist, but the real story here is the vagina, which has evolved to look even more crazy than the penis. It is also corkscrew shaped, but it does so in the other direction with many twists, turns, pockets, and dead ends in order to make uncorking the bottle, so to speak, as difficult as possible. Scientists think that the vagina is the result of an evolutionary war of the sexes.
Yeah, you got to have evolution in there. Why don't you stop and think before you say stuff like that? Do you ever think about what you think about? Think about that.
With the super aggressive males trying to impregnate as many females as possible, and the females trying to limit the amount of sperm that actually penetrates your defenses. Either way, it makes for an interesting icebreaker at your next party. That is, if you want to be known as the corkscrew penis guy. That one's up to you. What animal should I check out next? Please let me.
All right. How did this evolve? Here we have an animal. How many ducks do we have down there? Billy, you feed them all the time. I feed them probably 30?
There's 29.
29. Okay. So we feed them all the time, and they are amazing creatures. How did this evolve? Not the duck itself, the blood flow to the feet. How did that evolve? And you guys, and this method of making babies. I would just like an answer. You guys just don't get it. You make up a story. Well, it must have happened because here it is. That's not science. That's a religious belief. So that's it for the ducks making babies. I'd like to know how this evolved. You guys are 0 for 143 now, I think. Yep, 143. So any questions or comments? How did it make babies? Evolutionist crybaby. I can't. Follow up.
You're good, yeah.
Okay. Follow up if you contacted Damien to repost his videos on Hollywood. Did we do that? Damien's videos? I don't know.
No, I don't think we reposted.
Otherwise, could I request his email and I'll contact him directly through. Thanks, mate. Damien, his videos he did on Hollywood. What's his email? I don't know. Contact our secretary at drdiner.com. She can give you that tomorrow because I don't know it off the top of my head either. Okay. Spirit of nature. Is it a metaphor that God breathed life into first humans and he talked a lot? Why would God need to breathe? He doesn't have a physical body. Well, if God can do anything, then he could decide to do that if he wanted. Breathed into his nostrils, by the way, not the mouth. Interesting. The breath of life. So, don't know much more about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. You ever noticed in Norse mythology, Vikings worshiped the son of God with a hammer, Thor, just like Jesus had a hammer because he was a carpenter. Interesting. Never thought of that. You're Norwegian, brother, like I am. Have you ever? No.
Never made a correlation with that.
I don't know. I think many ancient cultures like the Norse have things hanging on from the truth. Then they get perverted and twisted, with all kinds of crazy stuff. But many of the ancient legends, you can tell they started from, a godly source. I was down today at the Porch Creek Indian Nation and invited them up here to come to Dinosaur Adventureland. Many of the Indian tribes have really interesting lessons about the Creator, the one God who came to Earth. So that's another story. Okay, thank you. Does a what?
A baby.
Baby receive a soul in the womb, or is the soul already pre-existing? I believe it is created body, soul, and spirit all at the same time. Now, the Mormons teach that you already were a spirit baby up in heaven. God up in heaven has thousands of wives, and he produces spirit babies all day long. And the human couple on earth only produce the body, and the spirit comes into the body as it's being born. That's what the Mormons teach. And if it's a good spirit baby up in heaven, it gets a white-skinned body. But if it's a bad spirit baby, it gets a black-skinned body. It's part of the curse of Cain. That's what they teach. Get the book on Why I'm Not a Mormon if you want more unusual things that they believe. Answers to my Mormon friends. We got a whole series of stuff here, series of books. They're on, let's see, $130 for the World Religion Library. That we got all the different stuff, $130. And you still get it for Christmas, I think, if you hurry. Okay, but you want to learn more about the Mormon religion? Let's see, why I'm not a Mormon, why I'm not a Seventh-day Adventist, answers to my Catholic friends, why I'm not a Muslim, what do they believe, why I'm not a Catholic, why I'm not a Calvinist, John Calvin, Roman Catholicism, Holy Scriptures versus the Holy Quran, answers to my Mormon friends. I like to study what other religions believe. And they might believe some things that are true. I bet a lot of them teach you how to drive on the right side of the road. We can agree on that. And in English, you should write starting on the left and go toward the right, left to right. Yeah, we could agree on hundreds of things. But boy, there are some serious ones we disagree on. So get that series on other religions. Okay, thank you. Let's see. How do we know that Apostle John was boiled in oil and lived? That is purely a tradition. It's not scripture. That's the tradition that got passed around, that they ordered him to be boiled in oil and he wouldn't die, and so they put him on the island instead in exile. That's just oral tradition. I think that story's in Fox's Book of Martyrs, or it's a... What's that?
It's in the bookstore.
Move your hand, I can't.
We sell it. We sell it.
We sell Fox's Book of Martyrs? Okay. Where did that story come from? I don't know, okay? But it is just an allegory. It may be true, it may not be true. If it's Fox's Book of Martyrs, why is he in there if he wasn't martyred? Well, good point. They tried to martyr him. I guess they would consider that. What if a judge orders an execution by hanging, and they hang the guy, and he lives? Well, they let him go. You hung. Okay? So that's a real low on my priority list, okay? Let's see. Crybaby. In addition to feathers, fossil evidence also demonstrates that the birds and dinosaurs shared features with hollow bones, gastroliths and digestive system, nest building, and brooding behavior. That proves a relationship. Hollow bones, if an animal like a dinosaur is that big, they need hollow bones just to get rid of some of the weight. Plus, hollow can actually be stronger. Tubular steel is harder to bend than solid steel. So the honeycomb idea of bones really makes them stronger. You need to study some physics on that, crybaby. Okay? Can you share your side of the accusation Mary and Cindy went on YouTube stating the things you did exposing the real Ken Hovind? Well, if you have any specifics, sure, I'd be glad to. I covered last night the accusation of being a tax protester. I am not, okay? As far as the marriages, I was married as a virgin on my honeymoon for 42 years to Joe, had a wonderful time. She got scared of the IRS and divorced me. In Florida, you can't stop a divorce. Somebody wants it, they get it. I probably swung too soon and married Mary, because people that were helping me said, wow, Mary Toko's anti-vaccine. She'd be a good one to join your team. And so we dated not very long and talked extensively and finally decided we got married. I think I had a wonderful marriage, and one day she left. 9 months. No reason. I kept calling back and forth to North Carolina. Mary, what are you doing? Come home. No, she's not coming. She wanted her 5 sons to be the trustees of the ministry. I said, I ain't going to do that. Then if I die, I'm going to have a little more control over what goes on after that. So she left. So we did what's called an annulment. Since it wasn't a state wedding, you don't need a state divorce. The word license comes from the word licentious. In other words, it's wicked and evil to not do that. How does a state get involved in marriage anyway? Is it the state decides who you can marry? That's what most people do, okay? So Mary and I did not have a state license. We had a church wedding, and then we had a church annulment. The CSE board members agreed she's not coming back. She said she's not coming back. She's done. So annulment is just like the marriage never happened. So it's not a divorce, but it has the same effect, okay? And then I, way too fast, married Cindy. We were pretty happy for 3 years, and then all kinds of things happened there, and she left me. I didn't leave her. I've never left a woman. I've never hit a woman, never divorced a woman. They left me. And so they, of course, have to justify what they did, leaving me for no good reason, and say that I'm the evil and the bad guy and all this stuff. So if you have a specific complaint, I'd be glad to answer it. I didn't know anything wrong to any of them, okay? But boy, so then I said, Lord, that's it. I'm not fishing anymore. If you want me to have a wife, you just have one jump in the boat. And boy, did I get a trophy this time, didn't I? Man, you girls work with her. So you become like my wife now. You say, Sandra, how can I become like you? That's perfect, almost perfect. Okay. She does a real dumb dog. I ended up with a marriage, but otherwise, came out great. All right. Bible says, call no man father, but your heavenly Father. Catholic priests are referred to as Father. I think that's a mistake. Can you expand on this and explain it? Thanks for your knowledge and leadership. Well, the Catholic Church is a far cry from a Christian organization, okay? Why I'm not a Roman Catholic, Understanding Roman Catholicism is in here. Why I'm not a Catholic by Peter Ruckman. So you can get all these books and learn more about that. I don't fight other religions too much. I got other battles to fight, okay? I don't have time to pick up all the trash in the world, okay? I do what I can, but generally I want to pick on my main topic of evolution. So all these other religions, I just want to know the truth. The truth is, this word is true, and this word says, call no man father, and you ask them, why do you do that? Well, it's tradition. Well, your tradition is wrong. I don't care if it's tradition. It's wrong, okay? Good point. Jeremy, any more?
Yeah, last one.
Last one. Let's see. Who is supreme authority in the universe? God the Father, Jesus, or Holy Spirit? Well, there's no competition between them. There's no jealousy between them. They are God. There's one God in three parts, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So that question's been asked for years. I don't think there's enough scripture to be dogmatic about it. Try Fox's book on Matthew Henry Commentary for much more on that. Scholars have argued that for a long time. Okay, making babies, the duck. Any comments or questions, brother? Any more?
No, sir.
Good. Thank you for joining us. Come down and visit Dinosaur Adventureland. It's free. What else do you want? And Sunday morning, we'll get back in the book of John. A lot of good stuff in that book. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye.